Good afternoon, Fargo. My name is Tony Gehrig, Fargo City Commissioner, with your April 9th Fargo City Commission meeting update. Two items on the agenda today: sewer special assessments and Cowboy Jack's, a bar in downtown Fargo. Special is a bit of a hot topic as of late and pretty much always. Just so you all know up front, I am working on a plan that should be released next week that will show Fargo residents how we can and what it would mean to eliminate specials across the board. That means all specials. That means for your road, your gutter, new development, old developments, redo, whatever. It's going to eliminate them all. And I am simply putting this plan together to show people what it would look like. Because look, the dollars come from somewhere, right? But I think the way we're doing it is an inception of taxes. We have a tax called a special assessment, and inside of that special assessment you have a interest rate that is higher than, say, for you to buy a car, or for you certainly to buy a home. And we profit off of that interest rate as a city and act as the bank to make that profit. It's an unfair system, an unjust system, and it's a silly system that has been carried on for far too long for, I think, all the wrong reasons. And I will offer simply a plan to change it. There will be people out there that hate the plan, right? They'll tell me I'm silly and we should keep the system the way it is, and then I'm trying to sink Fargo. Wait for that one. I'm trying to sink Fargo in this regard, and then we'll never have growth again. You know, I'm not even going to try to convince folks. I'm simply going to put the plan out there. You can like or dislike it, but if we get rid of specials, this is what it's going to look like. This is what taxes will be if we do that. Is that a better system or not is going to be within you to decide whether it is, and I frankly think it's a much better system to end special assessments. Now, specifically to the sewer here. I think in this regard, a loan to folks by the government to fix infrastructure that connects to our infrastructure is helpful. It's not required. You don't have to take the loan. You can get your own loan, for example. You can pay for it out of pocket. In some cases, it's $1,000 or $2,000 to fix your sewer line to the street, and then you have the option of taking a special assessment or just paying the city that amount of money to fix it, or you can hire somebody to fix it yourself, which I think that gives options, right? Which is not always the case. So in this regard, I think that it is a requirement. We have to have an option for people to get this loan from the city because it is for infrastructure that you need for your home immediately. Now, a road or a sidewalk in front of your house, that's a little bit different. Those should be part of the taxes that you pay already, because you already pay a road tax, you already pay a sales tax, you already pay a light tax for the light poles outside your home, things like that. So we should be taxing you twice for those things. So this will be an interesting conversation going forward. Some of them are required, but I think the vast majority of specials are abused, and I think we should get rid of them. The bigger topic, or the hotter topic, I'll say, for this meeting was Cowboy Jack's, a bar/restaurant going into downtown Fargo. The story is, and this is abbreviated, they found a license from one of the restaurants that was in South Fargo that went out of business. They captured their Class A license, which means a bar license. You can serve whatever you want there as far as alcohol goes, and there is no food requirement. And they wanted to bring that license downtown Fargo, get a new building, revamp that building, and operate a bar and restaurant called Cowboy Jack's, which is a chain restaurant that's part of the upper Midwest here. There are a lot of downtown residents who believe we have too many bars in downtown, and I'm not here to argue with them. If that's how they feel, then that's justifiable. What I'll say, though, is that we as a city have been pushing bars and restaurants into downtown through a myriad of different ways. One, we make it cheaper. A restaurant license in downtown Fargo for many years was half the price as a license outside of downtown. Two, we created bar licenses, the Z license, which was half those licenses that were issued were just for downtown. You could not use them anywhere else but downtown. You had to come here to do that. Three, we use incentives. So if you operate a building, you can fix up an old one, make it look nicer, and we will basically pay you to do that through incentives, which if you were to do that in South Fargo is not an option. So we as a government have manipulated the free market to say, come down here, we want you down here, and now the residents are realizing that's a bad idea. They don't know why it's a bad idea, but those are the reasons why it's a bad idea. Because you flood or you overinflate the area with a certain thing that you're incentivizing, which is never a good thing. That's why we need to allow the free market to work. I believe that if we got rid of the incentives to do these things, you would see a greater parity in the type of businesses down here, because that's how the market works. What people want to come down here will come down here because of the demand. If you inflate that demand through incentives and through cheaper licenses and through a myriad of different ways, then it's exactly that. You're manipulating what people actually want, and you'll see more of that thing that may become undesirable, which many cities across this nation, by the way, have done to detrimental effects. So we need to stop doing that. And I made the case at the meeting that we regulate licenses in a very foolish way here in the city of Fargo. We regulate the total number of bars in the entire city. Well, no one is arguing that there's too many bars in North Fargo. No one is arguing that south of 52nd Avenue in South Fargo that there's too many bars downtown. There's no bars downtown, or no bars in South Fargo. So we need to, if we want to regulate the liquor licenses, which I'm not sure that we should be, because of we can see how it's working, we should limit them by region and by square footage. By region, by what I mean is pick square miles, so downtown is a region, South Fargo is a region, North Fargo is a region, and say you can only have X amount of bars in that region. We can decide that number. Whatever that number should be, we can decide that number. And then we can say there can only be so many square feet, or instead of number of bars, square feet is the way we should do this. Because you can have a bar the size of the Hub, and it has a Class A license. And you can have a bar the size of JL Beers, which is very tiny, and they have the same licenses. They pay the same amount of money for that license, and there's no restriction as to how big it can be. So that's a foolish way to do things, and I think we should change that way. And I'm going to, again, call for a consultant to come in to the City of Fargo and give us these better ways to do that, best practices from other cities, and hopefully people are receptive to that notion. This video was a little bit longer than usual, but there was a lot of conversation that was taking place for that meeting. Cowboy Jacks was approved in a 3-2 vote. The mayor and I believe John Strand voted against it. They have their reasons, but I think this is a good thing for the City of Fargo. If we reject businesses, we're going to pay the price for that. If we become unbusiness friendly, we will feel that, which many communities have felt around the nation. So I hope people are happy with it. I think it would be a good addition to the downtown community, and we need to be smarter about how we regulate liquor in the City of Fargo. If you have questions, contact me, share this on Facebook, and keep watching how we're spending your tax dollars. Thank you.